Welcome to NM Serena. In this video, let us discuss regarding the functionaries of stock exchange. First of all, let us understand who is a functionary of a stock exchange. They are those persons, individuals or institutions who perform the functions of a stock exchange, and they are also the registered members of that exchange. The functionaries of a stock exchange that we are going to discuss here are the jobbers, brokers, sub-brokers, Tarawaniwalas, portfolio consultants, market makers, institutional investors, and the depositories. Let us discuss about the jobbers. They are those dealers who deal in the shares and debentures as independent operators. They deal as independent operators. They buy and sell securities on their own behalf, and they try to earn through the price changes. The jobbers, they cannot deal on behalf of the public, and they are barred from taking commission also because they are not allowed to deal on behalf of the public. They buy or sell on their own behalf. They directly deal with the brokers who in turn make transactions on behalf of the public. Jobbers, they generally quote two prices, one at which he is prepared to purchase and the other at which he is prepared to sell a particular security. And the difference between the two prices, it is the jobber's profit, and that is also called jobber's turn. The next functionary at a stock exchange are the brokers. They are the commission agents. They act as intermediaries between the buyers and sellers of the securities. They do not purchase or sell securities on their behalf. Previously, we have said that the jobbers purchase or sell on their behalf. But in the case of brokers, they do not purchase or sell on their behalf. They bring together the buyers and sellers and help them in making a deal. And for this, the brokers charge commission. They charge commission from both the parties for the services rendered by them. The brokers are the experts in estimating the trends of prices, and they can effectively advise their clients for reaching a fruitful gain. And the brokers, they get orders from their clients who are the investing public, and their duty is to execute these orders, and they are entitled to prescribed scale of brokerage. They may execute the orders through the jobbers. And the investors who do not know the technicalities of the stock exchange, they are greatly benefited by the expertise of these brokers. A broker has to make an application for registration as a member of a stock exchange. They have to make this application to the SEBI along with a required fee. The board, after checking whether the applicant has got the necessary infrastructure to effectively carry out its activities, only then they will grant the certificate of registration. Once registered, the brokers have to follow a special code of conduct. And the next one is the sub-broker. A sub-broker is an agent of the stockbroker, or it is a person who helps the investor to deal with the stockbroker. So we can understand that a sub-broker is a link between the investing public and the stockbroker. The sub-broker also has to get registered with SEBI, same as the brokers. And for this purpose, they have to submit the application for registration along with a letter of recommendation from a stockbroker of a recognized stock exchange. And they also have to give two references, one of which should be from his banker. They have got certain eligibility criteria like he should not be less than 21 years of age, he should not be convicted of any offense involving fraud or dishonesty, etc. If all these criteria is fulfilled, only then a sub-broker is granted a certificate of registration by the board. and then he becomes a registered member of the stock exchange. And the next one is a Tarawaniwala. The Tarawaniwalas are active members of a Bombay Stock Exchange. They can act both as jobbers as well as brokers. A Tarawaniwala makes a transaction on his own behalf, just like a jobber, and he may also act as a broker on behalf of the public. They may also indulge in malpractices for earning profits. They may sell their own securities to their clients when the prices are higher and vice versa. The distinction between the jobbers and the Tarawaniwalas is that the jobbers are not brokers, whereas Tarawaniwalas can act both as brokers and jobbers. That is, they can buy and sell securities on their own behalf as well as on behalf of their clients. And the next is a portfolio consultant. A number of things have to be taken care of when someone is interested to invest in a stock market, like the portfolio construction, formulation of investment strategy, evaluation, and regular monitoring of the portfolio. All these jobs require skill and high degree of expertise. Actually, it is an art. So these portfolio consultants, they possess the skill and expertise required for performing this function. They also have got experience in that. So they advise their clients or direct them, or they even undertake the investments on behalf of their clients, and they also manages the same. A person is allowed to act as a portfolio consultant only if he possesses a certificate granted by SEBI. And every portfolio consultant has to deposit a fee as registration fee at the time of granting of this certificate, and they have to apply for its renewal once the period is over. The failure to pay the fees for the renewal in the prescribed time will lead to suspension of the certificate. SEBI has issued various guidelines to regulate the activities of such portfolio consultants. And the next functionary is a market maker. A market maker is an important functionary that provides liquidity to the stock market. The market maker quotes two-way rates for buying and selling a security simultaneously. The price that is quoted to the prospective buyer is called offer price, and the price quoted to the seller is called the bid price. And market makers, they have to follow the rules and the regulations of the stock exchange. And the stock exchange considers a number of factors while approving the names of the market makers. And these factors include their financial strength, past history, pending litigations, annual turnover, etc. Every market maker has to keep a minimum number of shares of each company so that they can play or operate in the stock market. And the next one is the institutional investor. Institutional investors constitute that segment of investors who are capable of buying or selling on large scale on the stock exchange market. They buy and sell through the brokers, sub-brokers, portfolio consultants, etc. In India, the major institutional investors include the Life Insurance Corporation, General Insurance Corporation, and Unit Trust of India, or the UTI, and also the building societies, charitable trusts, and other religious organizations also. One of the main features of these organizations is that they mobilize the savings of individuals throughout the country by the issue of different saving schemes. The vast funds accumulated are then invested in profitable securities like shares, that too equity shares, preference shares, and also the government securities, etc. The institutional investors, they play an important role on the stock exchange because any investment and disinvestment of securities has great impact on the stock exchange. They can cause stock index move up or down by their acts in the stock market. The next one is a depository. A depository is actually a firm where the securities of an investor are held in electronic form. It is done in the same way a bank holds money. It carries out the transactions of the securities by means of a book entry without any physical movement of the securities. So there is only a book entry for the transactions made. And the depository based settlement system is also called book entry transfer settlement. The depository they act as a owner of the securities lodged with it for the limited purpose of transfer of ownership. It functions as a custodian of securities of its clients. The name of the depository appears in the records. With increase in the number of transactions in the stock market, actually it has become difficult for investors to hold the share certificates and debt instruments in bulk. But now, since these depository institutions are there, they can handle this job. At present, there are two main depositories in India, the NSDL and CDSL. NSDL is the National Securities Depository Limited and CDSL is the Central Depository Services India Limited. So, these are the functionaries operating in a stock exchange. Thank you for watching this video. For more videos, subscribe the channel.